The first thing anyone learns when studying frontline survival is that hunger doesn't care about uniforms, nations, or tactics. It grinds at the mind, clouds judgment, and breaks discipline faster than enemy fire. Soldiers caught between trenches in the dead space, known as no man's land, faced a brutal truth. Once cut off from their unit, the struggle wasn't just avoiding bullets or shrapnel, it was finding enough food to keep moving. And while it's easy to romanticize the battlefield in hindsight, the men who survived did so through grit, improvisation, and an intimate understanding of what could and could not sustain them in that barren strip of ground. So, for the next few minutes, let's walk through the hard realities of battlefield foraging. No dramatics, no exaggerations, just the practical, often overlooked knowledge that meant the difference between collapse and endurance. When soldiers went over the top or advanced into uncertain territory, they didn't always know when they'd see their quartermaster again. The official day's ration might have looked decent on paper: hardtack, tinned beef, a small portion of jam, tea or coffee substitute. But the problem was consistency. Supply lines got shelled, weather turned trenches into bogs, and patrols often lasted longer than anyone planned. Understanding how rations were packed helps explain how men survived when they ended up stranded. Most kept emergency food tucked inside small haversacks or jacket pockets, usually something dense, cheap, and nearly indestructible. Hardtack was the king of these. The reason historians take it seriously is simple. Hardtack lasted forever. It didn't mold, and even when it felt like chewing a brick, it gave enough calories to stay upright. Knowing this also teaches modern survivalists that longevity outweighs taste every single time. If you were stranded today, your best equivalent would be high-calorie compressed rations, dried grain bars, or anything airtight with a years-long shelf life. In the chaos of no man's land, discipline extended into the smallest actions, like ration pacing. Soldiers who survived often spoke about breaking food into tiny amounts, eating only when movement was required, and never finishing anything in a single sitting. That method remains applicable today. When calories are scarce, the body needs steady trickles, not feasts. A practical modern application is simple. Whenever you're down to limited supplies, whether during a trek, emergency situation, or field exercise, divide everything immediately. Treat every portion like it has to last 3 times longer than planned. This mindset kept men alive when gunfire pinned them down for hours or days with no hope of resupply. Scavenging in no man's land was not the adventurous cinematic sweep people imagine. It was slow, cautious, and rooted in observation. Soldiers searched shell holes, abandoned posts, collapsed communication trenches, and the pockets or packs of fallen men, friend and foe. This wasn't a matter of disrespect, it was survival. Many armies even unofficially encouraged retrieving resources whenever possible. Soldiers looked for anything edible, anything that burned, and anything that could be bartered when they made it back. For today's survivalist or historian, the lesson is the same. Environments hold more resources than they appear to at first glance. Abandoned structures, derelict vehicles, old campsites, and even overlooked corners of terrain can hide food, tools, or useful material. The key is to move slowly, keep a low profile, and prioritize areas others may have avoided because of shelling or terrain difficulty. Cooking was almost impossible in no man's land, but small fires, carefully shielded, barely visible, were still used when absolutely necessary. Soldiers heated tins on hot pieces of metal, used pocket-sized solid fuel tablets, or relied on embers buried under soil to avoid detection. The key principle was minimizing smoke and light. Today's survivalists who need to heat food discreetly can use similar steps: find natural depressions, dig a shallow slot trench, use dry fuel that smokes less, and cook only long enough to make food safe or palatable. This knowledge came straight from men who understood that one careless spark could draw fire from rifles, machine guns, or artillery observers. No man's land was scarred, muddy, and poisoned by metal fragments, but it still held life in certain seasons. Soldiers sometimes found edible weeds, wild garlic berries on the edges of old farmland, and even small game displaced by bombardment. They knew what local civilians harvested before the war, and recognized which plants resisted shell-blasted soil. Modern survivalists can apply this by studying local edible plants and seasonal growth patterns wherever they train or hike. The critical lesson is that foraging without prior knowledge is guessing, and guessing on the battlefield was a dangerous luxury. Preparation always beats improvisation. Even when trapped, small groups shared everything. One man scavenged while another kept watch. Someone rationed the food while another monitored enemy activity. That collective approach mirrors effective survival training today. Individuals break down, groups adapt. Soldiers who worked together conserved energy, coordinated movements, and kept morale steady. If you're training or exploring remote areas today, the same principle applies. Establish roles, rotate responsibilities, and make every decision with the group's overall endurance in mind. If you found this guide valuable, make sure you subscribe to Battlefield Survival and share this video with fellow historians and enthusiasts. The more we grow, the more in-depth, serious, and well-researched content we can bring to you. This channel is built for people who want the truth of battlefield survival, not the dramatics, and your support keeps it alive.